Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cam Schuster podcast, proudly brought to you by the WesWes Network, brought to you by WesWesNet.com. On this episode, I've got also Eddie from the Empty Out the Clip podcast. And with me today, we're going to talk about picks and margins. We're going to preview each of the Super Rugby Pacific games around 7 this weekend. We're going to pick the winners and margins for each game. Then we're going to do NRL. We're up to round 3 this weekend of the NRL. First game Thursday tomorrow. And we'll pick the winners and margins for each of those games as well. Road intro. Let's go. Okay, now before I get to Eddie and picks and margins, I just want to share my thoughts with the Daly Cherry-Evans stuff that's been going on overseas in Australia and him leaving the club. So I've been a Manly Seagulls supporter ever since the days of Graham Lowe when he was there during the Winfield Cup, and ever since Matthew Ridge, he went over from Rugby Union, and yeah, ever since then, because my mum and dad, they're hard out Manly Seagulls fans when it came to league. So I don't know. I think they just followed the Kiwis that were over there, and I think they just followed Matthew Ridge, because I was a big fan of Matthew Ridge when he played for Auckland and NPC, and him moving over sort of took my attention to rugby league. So yeah, I've got a soft spot for Manly Seagulls ever since. And when the Warriors came out, I didn't really change teams. Well, I sort of did. They were the Auckland Warriors, and I sort of supported them until they changed to New Zealand Warriors, and I didn't agree with that. So I went back to my team, the Manly Seagulls. I've supported them ever since. And I remember Daly Cherry-Evans when he first came on the scene. He started at the club at 2011. And he became captain after the retirement of Jamie Lyons in 2017. So he became captain of the Manly Seagulls team, and he's been there ever since. Now he's dropped a bomb in Australia saying he's going to leave the club, and he might sign up with another club. He might go overseas. He doesn't really know, but he said he's definitely not going to be with the club after the season. So after that, it's been under. He dropped the announcement under some controversy. So apparently Manly Seagulls, they made a counter offer or an offer for him to stay on live TV on the NRL 360 show. DCE's come on another show on Channel 9, talked about him, there's no animosity between him and the club, and he's looking forward to the future. He doesn't know if he's going to retire. He might join another club, but he definitely is not going to play for the Manly Seagulls next year. And all through the years, I remember they're talking about his age. He's 35 years old now, so he's probably got 2 more years left in the game. And as a Manly Seagulls fan, I just assumed that he's gonna stay there to the end, stay there and retire, and probably so did many other Manly Seagulls fans. So you can imagine the amount of sadness or anger there might be with the fans, the Manly Seagulls fans, to see everything that transpired through social media and on TV, and the way it's happened. It's not like a clear-cut thing. So what it's done, it's made all the other teams sort of zoom into it and try and give their offer. So apparently, reading online, the Sydney Roosters might put in an offer for DCE's services. I think it was Bulldogs. Yeah. Also, Dolphins might be thrown in there, and that's because Redcliffe, that's where DCE grew up as a kid. That's why he plays for Queensland during state origin. He's from the area, so that's the Dolphins team. So it doesn't look like he would go back there in his career there, but might seem fitting. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's just the fact that he's gonna still play for a different club. That's probably got Manly fans uneasy. But the Manly team's management and office are scrambling right now to try and offer him a deal to end his career at the club. So yeah, I think it's funny that this has come about, and it's after the whole Dylan Brown contract, right? So Newcastle Knights have offered Dylan Brown one of the highest salaries an NRL player can get. So over a period of 10 years, they've offered Dylan Brown 1.5 million a year, or 1.3 million a year, or whatever it is. But it's a lot. And for a player like Dylan Brown, you could imagine there's a lot of other players that could, that could be worth that amount or even more. You got Tyron Wishart over there in Melbourne, who's coming off the bench. He's playing now because Munster's injured. He's a top half, so he could easily command a deal like 1.5 million a year for 10 years. So at the moment, DCE was getting, I believe, $1 million a year with his current contract. That's come to the end now, and I think from reports, Manly is offered $750 a year. But they said if another club approaches him with an offer, then Manly could counter that offer, right? So I think what's happened, and it looks like that was the deal, that Manly could counter offer any offer that will come to Daly Cherry-Evans. Now, if that's a disrespect sign from the club and not actually offering amount that DCE is worth, could that be a sign of disrespect? If you see that your club, that you've played for this club your whole career, you expect them to run around circles for you. But yeah, they say there's no animosity. The club says there's no animosity between them and DCE. DCE says the same. But yes, something's not right. And I don't mean to sound like those guys on NRL 360 saying something's not right. Brett Finesta is thinking that something's not right. As a Manly fan, I'm coming from a Manly fan's perspective. He's done a service. DCE has done a service to the club. He's played there since 2011, and he's at his end of his career. Whether he plays for another club, or goes overseas, or retires, it's the end of the road for end of the era, right? So Manly has started doing their due diligence, looking to the future, a future without DCE, and they've already done that with recruiting ex-Tigers and Luke Brooks. So I saw a report that they're looking at Jamal Fogerty, trying to get him. Now that could be a good half pairing for Luke Brooks in there. So yeah, but yeah, man, as a Manly Seagulls fan, DCE, I love him playing for Manly. I hate him playing for Queensland. But it's his decision, and I respect that. It would be cool if he goes back to Dolphins, goes back to Redcliffe, where he's from, where he grew up, and played for the club and retired the club that he's from. But I don't. The reports on the paper say they don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, just excited to look forward to the future. A lot of young talent in Manly now coming up. They got it right with Luke Brooks. They just need a number 6 or number 7, depending where Luke Brooks plays. Onwards and upwards, I guess. But yeah, hopefully Manly can win DCE a championship in end of the season and force them to stay. So March Madness continues this weekend. We've got the Sweet 16 starts. I think it's Friday in America, so that means it's Saturday over here. So we got the top 16 teams are gonna face off in the bracket. But at all accounts, if you read the reports and all that in America, like they're saying this is probably the least exciting March Madness there has been in a few years. There's less buzzer beaters. There was only one in second round. There's no Cinderella teams. If you're 11th seed and down, then you're considered a Cinderella team, and you're not supposed to be there, but you are. So no Cinderella teams this year. I think the highest ranked team that's still in there is Arkansas, the Arkansas Razorbacks, who I spoke of last episode, and they're the ones to watch out for. A tall team, don't do much freeze, but they can bang in the paint. So look out for them. So they might make some upsets. But yeah, just go through the team. So got BYU, the Mormons still there. They got Alabama. Alabama picked TAB's picked Alabama to win that one. You got Maryland versus Florida. Maryland's number 4 seed playing Florida number 1. TAB's got Florida to win that one. Arizona 4th seed plays Duke number 1. Obviously Duke's got that one. Duke's got Cooper Flagg, the projected number 1 pick this year in the NBA draft. You got the number 10 seed Arkansas that I spoke of. Arkansas Razorbacks. They faced number 3 seed Texas Tech. Texas Tech has the odds to win that one. Mississippi, they've got Michigan State. Michigan State's got the lead on that. Michigan State 2nd seed. Mississippi the 6th seed. Kentucky, number 3 seed, are facing off with Tennessee, the number 2. Tennessee is picked to win that one. Michigan, the Fab 5. Michigan Wolverines, the 5th seed. They're playing powerhouse Auburn. Auburn and Duke are the 2 teams to beat in this competition. Apparently they're way ahead of everyone else. They deserve their number 1 spots. Auburn's picked to win that one. And then you got the last one, Purdue and Houston. Houston also a number 1 pick. Number 1 seed. Purdue number 4 seed. Houston picked to win this one. Yeah, so yeah, gonna be exciting Saturday with March Madness still going on with the Sweet 16 NCAA. After that will be Elite 8 to see who survives. Survive in advance is the slogan for the NCAA tournament for March Madness. So yeah, I can't wait for that. Also, I've been trying to watch the Auckland Tualasea basketball games. I know I watched the first game last week. They played Franklin Bulls and they lost. Franklin Bulls look really good. Tualasea, yeah, not so good. But they've got a couple of imports there. One guy from Nigeria, tall, lanky dude. Man, he's good. He's got good handles. He can drive. But man, his execution's a bit off. He's missing shots in that. But he's athletic. And that's probably, you need a guy like that to calm down sometimes. So like if there was a name for a beaten in the opposite direction and the skinny direction, it's probably him. Yeah, man. So they're waiting on Rob Lowe, who's still in the NBL in Australia. So when that finishes up, he'll be joining the Auckland Tualasea, and he's a good scorer. That guy, he's their leader. He's the Auckland leader last year. I think he was MVP one of the years too. So yeah, they'll be looking forward to get him back when he finishes his duties within NBL. All right, that was my thoughts on sport during the week, and yeah, man, let's do some picks and margins. Let's go. Yo, so I'm here with the Uso from the Empty Out the Clip, the EOT podcast. I got Eddie. What's up, my brother?
Sapus. Let's go.
Yeah, man, another week of sports, another weekend of sports, man. It's been some news in the NRL. We'll touch on when we get to those games, but yeah, man, we're here to do picks and margins. It's my weekly thing I do every week for all you all the punters out there who like to dabble in a bit of sports betting. Just give you insight on how we choose our teams, to how we pick our teams and margins. But I don't even do that spread. Do you bet on the spread?
Like try scores and stuff?
No, you know how to do the spread, the negative and positive?
No, I just go results, Yeah.
It's kind of it's kind of hard when they give you the spread, but you're not sure if it's going to happen, Because when you watch the NBA and they give you, because today I saw a spread for Heat and Golden State Warriors, and the spread was like 2 points. So they figured there's going to be a close game. So I was like, nah, man.
Yeah.
With NBA, it's hard to pick those, Like, I know Miami Heat, and because that's an extra special game because Jimmy Butler is back in Miami after he left. So it's his first time back with on the court And I saw I didn't see any booing or that from the crowd, but I think it was okay. But yeah,
There's undertone feelings.
yeah, man, yeah, man. So yeah, so we're gonna start with Super Rugby, and we'll get through those. We'll do the NRL after that.
Yep.
But yeah, man. The first game. So Super Rugby Pacific, we're up to round 7. We're getting close to the halfway mark. Round 8 will be the halfway round, and then the next 8 games, I think. Yeah, 8 games. So the first game for Friday, 28th of March, we've got the Hurricanes versus the Waratahs in Sky Stadium in Wellington. So according to the TAB, Hurricanes are paying $1.22. Waratahs are paying $4. Now, the Waratahs actually won the game last week, and sort of took us by surprise because they were playing at home, but against the Brumbies, and we picked the Brumbies to win that game, but it didn't happen. We should have stuck with our home field advantage, man. Makes a difference, man. But yeah, these Australian teams, they're good competitively when they play each other. Not really sure how it's going to work out until they meet a Crusader team or Chiefs team. They'll probably smash them. But but I think yeah, I don't think Waratahs will do good away. They don't really have a good away record. I don't really. I'm trying to. Suoli is named at number 13. So he's a centre. It's interesting. So they got Jorgensen at the back. The Wallaby there, Archie Saunders. I'm not sure if I've seen him play much. Darby Lancaster on the other wing. But yeah, that's interesting. Joseph Suoli's back from injury. He had a few games off,
Yeah.
So they'll be.
I think he hasn't been playing since round 1.
Nah. He hasn't. So yeah, man, looks like he's not gonna get much space at 13. But he'll be up against the Hurricanes midfield, which is Hohepa, Umaga Jensen, and Braylon Sullivan. So Umaga Jensen at 12, Peter Umaga Jensen at 12, Braylon Sullivan at 13. They're pretty consistent with that midfield there. But I'm going Hurricanes on this one, 12 and under to win this game. And I think Waratahs will do well going overseas. They're going to jump on that plane and come and play down here. Hurricanes doing well against Australian teams. And they need a win there. They had a bye. They're coming off a bye, but before that they actually won against Islanders, so that was a good game for them before the bye. So yeah, I'm going for Hurricanes on this one.
Yeah, I think the Hurricanes are still kind of like trying to put their forwards together. Sometimes they come off disjointed, but they're becoming a good squad. Like ever since they lost to Moana Pacifica, I think they just a bit of pride in the way they defend their line and whatnot. I think the Waratahs will struggle against a home game against the Hurricanes, after the Hurricanes home game. So yeah, I think Almoa's probably for me is one of the standouts for the Hurricane squads. Just the way he does his little stabbing runs, and he's been picking up the pace a lot lately, and I really enjoy watching him play. I'll go Hurricanes, but I think this will be a blowout on the Hurricanes. I think the Hurricanes will blow the Waratahs away. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling, but I'll go Hurricanes 13 plus.
Right. Cool. Yeah, you can even see that because when you look at their backline, they're pretty devastating, especially on the wings with Nahola there. Punifai on the other wing. Ruben Love's pretty good too at the back, so he's fast, he's quick as well. So, but you talked about the forwards there. Yeah, you got to be impressed with Karifi, like his form from NPC. So now it's continued on, And I remember last year and the previous years, I always thought that guy had the potential, but not quite there. He gave away too many penalties, man. It was like,
You nailed it on the head, Oos.
Yeah, man.
Because the first 3 rounds that the Hurricanes played, they were giving away so many penalties. It was really bad, and it was mostly from the forwards.
Mm.
So they've now gelling together quite well. I reckon discipline is there now. I reckon they'll smash the Waratahs, especially when it comes to breakdown. There's going to be a lot of turnovers. I reckon it'll be a battle up front, definitely. And I think Swati coming back, I don't think it will make a difference because one guy can't make a team.
Mm. Yeah, looking at this loose forwards trio, they're like a poor man's Crusader trio. Loose trio, with Braden, let's say Peter Laka, he's good at number 8. He's been good this year. And it's probably the best thing that Adi Sevilla left, so they can bring these guys up. You know, and I think that's what the All Blacks want to see, eh? They want to see some new blood coming in.
And
go Adi, go Adi, play for Moana, so let these other guys have a chance. See what they're like, man.
Yeah.
So,
and Adi's having fun at Moana too.
Yeah, he is.
So both sides are getting, but even I'm looking at the bench, man. I think the Hurricanes got a solid bench to come off. Even Shields. Yeah, I like Shields there. He'll be mean coming off the bench.
He used to play for England, eh? He went to play for England.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we've got the Hurricanes on that one. Next game on Friday, 9:30 p.m. We're going over to GIO Stadium, and the Brumbies at home against the Highlanders. And I think this is those games where, again, you got to give it to home because Brumbies are hard to beat at home. Although they were beaten by Western Force, and that was a surprise. But since then they've got their act together, eh? Sort of thing.
Hopefully, they better
at home, especially.
Yeah.
So the Highlanders coming in off just a heartbreaking loss last week against the Reds. But yeah, I don't think they'll do too well over there in Canberra. So I'm picking Brumbies 12 and under. I think it'll be a close game anyway. Yeah. But,
Brumbies is like my favorite Australian squad at the moment. We really enjoy watching them play. On the Bet365, they're going at 125 with the Highlanders paying $4. So that's a clear indication that the bookies have already gone for the home side. And I think we got to stick with the bookies on this one. I reckon home side advantage for the Brumbies, surely. Yeah, I'll say 12 and under. I don't think it'll be close. I think it'll be like maybe 10-point margin. But yeah, 12 and under for Brumbies.
Yeah, the Brumbies got Rob Valentini back last week from injury. So this is the second game in. So if that was a warm-up he had last week, then this week he'll be on fire, I think, game in. But in saying that, like, they've got their backlines just... What's his name? Andy Muir here. He's been playing well, eh? He's playing good. If you're betting on try scorers, he's a guy you should put in there.
And I feel like Lola Seal's coming to his own as well. He's definitely secured that, I reckon, number 10 for the Wallabies. But Alatua, can't go past him, bro.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching that guy play.
Tavanawa, he's moved back to number 12. And this one, after that little stint he had last week on the wing. So, yeah, maybe they see something there that he needs to do. But yeah, man, Brumbies for this one for sure. The next day is Saturday. It's a 7 p.m. game. We got Moana Pacifica back from their bye and back from their win. Oh no, they didn't. They got wasted in the second half, eh?
Yeah.
They won the first half. They're playing the Crusaders down in Christchurch. So according to TAB, Crusaders are paying $1.08. Moana Pacifica $6.50. And yeah, man, I think with the Crusaders' current form, beating the Blues, and just the way they've been beating teams, like at home and away, Crusaders for this one, bro.
It has to be. You'll be dumb not to pick the Crusaders on this one. Bet365. I think this is the highest I've ever seen for a team being paid, but the Moana is paying $10 to win this. So that goes to show that this is huge, bro. I don't know if you guys want to chuck a lazy 5 or a lazy 10 just to get some money if it does happen, but I don't think so. I think this is a bit of a long shot. Um,
Adi
you
Severe's
know,
back.
Severe's back,
Yeah,
but
number
still,
8.
man, like we're in the week 7 of 16.
Mm.
This is the business end, so I think they're beginning for that top 6 position. Um, Crusaders looked a bit sloppy last week in that first 20 against the Blues, but then it's just from Blues errors they capitalized on it, and in the second half they just kind of just played around with us for a little bit. I knew
Yeah.
the Crusaders were going to win against the Blues. It was just heartbreaking to watch it unfold.
It's heartbreaking to watch it live, man.
Yo,
But
oh man.
but I think due to All Blacks protocols, they've rested Silver Reese, so he's replaced by Macca Springer, who had that 5-try game 2 weeks ago. So he's pairing up on the other wing with Shea Fiaki, who had a good game last week. And I thought that was funny because they played Shea Fiaki all season until that game where Macca Springer took over him. And Macca Springer scores 5 tries and it's like, oh, sucks. Now you give the ball that way to his wing, eh?
Yeah.
But then some of those tries were individual tries too. So there was one where he kicked along the sideline and re-gathered and got the try at the end. So like good skills there. There. But yeah, man, easy one for us.
And I see Connor's starting.
Yes, James Conner starting.
Yo.
James O'Connor. I don't see the other guy on the bench though. What's his name? The guy from Hamilton. But yeah. Yeah. Even though a change of lineups there for both teams, still gonna be the same result. Okay, next game we've got. Oh, my ad. There's only 4 games of Super Rugby this weekend, so 3 teams have a bye. So the last game will be Saturday 9:30 p.m. We've got the Reds and Western Force at Suncorp Stadium, and I'm not sure if you'll be watching this one because I probably won't. But I got the Reds to win at home. Too strong at home. The Reds look really good at home, eh?
Yeah.
And they've built a fortress at Suncorp Stadium. With the Western Force, I think they won last week, eh? They won last week.
Yeah. Didn't they beat
Fiji Draw at their home in Perth.
At their home.
52-15, but they're travelling, so I think the Reds will have this one.
Yeah. Bet365's got the Western Force paying at $4.
Right.
With the Reds at 125, so we have to go with the bookies on this one. I don't think it'll be much. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be 12 and under, but yeah. And there's just been an update. Moana Pacifica is now paying $11.
Oh, why? Wonder why?
I don't know. They just put it up.
Man, there's a big difference in the TAB, I'd say. Because one is $6.50 still, and Waratah is $4, and the Force is $3.50. All right, that was your Super Rugby Pacific picks and margins for this week, round 7. Moving on to the NRL. What we got? Thursday's game. What we got? The South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the Penrith Panthers tomorrow at 10 o'clock New Zealand time at Accor Stadium. Yeah. How you feeling about this one?
No Cleary at 7. Tualasea was there. I don't know. I'm really liking the halves from the Rabbitohs there, Jamie Humphries. But I don't think there's enough in that squad to take on the Panthers, especially after seeing them against the Storm without Cleary. It was a close game. I would say the Panthers will take this one out. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be 12 and under.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. And TAB's got Penrith Panthers at $1.30, while the South Sydney Rabbitohs are $3.50. The Rabbitohs are surprised having those 2 wins in the first 2 rounds. They had their first loss against the Sharks, which probably was their first test anyway against a good team.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think this week is even harder team against Penrith. So yeah I think
I think Penrith side that's lost 2 in a row. So they're dying for a win here.
They have lost 2 in a row, but look who they lost to, right? So man, and the way they played, those games, like those comebacks. Like that could
Yeah.
be any other team, I reckon. So yeah, I think it'll be Penrith be too much for South Sydney. I reckon 13 plus for Penrith. Okay, next game we got the Sydney Roosters versus the Gold Coast Titans in Sydney. So Sydney's coming off their loss against the Warriors. Come down here, they're going back home to redeem themselves. I guess this is a hard game to pick, because at the moment Roosters are up and down, You know, because they beat Penrith, and that's like throws everything up in the air, man. So it's I think it's a matter of, can they perform what they did against Penrith again, and they couldn't do it against Warriors. They're at home. Can they do it against Gold Coast? So this is their chance to build a fortress, I guess. And Gold Coast, I don't see Khan Pereira at the back there. Is he injured or something?
Must be. They got the group back.
Yeah. I'm picking a close one, but I'm picking Sydney Roosters for this one, 12 and under.
Yeah. I mean, the young forwards are coming together. You know, you can't go past Crichton, Lunu, Nafahu White. And then you're on the bench, you got Nat Butcher and Lindsay Collins, so it's gonna be a tough one. Even Fafita hasn't been firing that much lately. Even Tino was well
They haven't
contained.
been using them.
And Tino's been well contained lately.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's the small guys and the Titans that have been firing, Campbell and all them boys. But yeah, I'll pick Roosters. I think it'll be a close one. I think it'll be 12 and under. Roosters.
Yeah. I think the home advantage will tip them over,
Yeah.
Because it will be a close one.
I think Grant Atkins is the ref.
Roosters paying $1.48, while Titans paying $2.65, according to TAB. The next game we got Dolphins versus the Brisbane Broncos. Another derby. It's a bit of a derby. It was a derby last week against the Cowboys. They won.
Yeah. We're playing our own little brothers, man. Little brother number one got it, man.
The Dolphins, man, trying to get their first win,
So were the Cowboys, man.
So
the Cowboys.
And Broncos want to prove that that little hiccup they had before was just a bump in the road, like Michael Jordan used to say. Just a bump in the road. Nothing too alarming. Who you got? Who you got on this one?
Dolphins are paying $4.60 to the Broncos, $1.20 on Bet365.
Yeah, so same as TAB.
So it has to be Broncos. You know, that's my team. I think when we played against the Cowboys last week, I expected 50 points to 0. But the way the Cowboys came out with Ruben Cotter leading the way, it was just hard for us to get out of that first 20. We still had some jitters, and it looked like we were trying too hard after our loss against the Raiders. So I think this will be a better test, especially with Gilbert, Plath, Kaufusi, and Saifidi. It would be good testing for us, because Haas had a good run last week, so let's see if he can do some good running back to back. Hetherington's been leading up front. Carrigan's been okay. But yeah, this will be a good game to test out Katoni Staggs, who returns back into the squad. I picked this to be Broncos 13 plus.
Yeah, I picked Broncos 13 plus as well. I think when it comes to these derbies, especially in some Court Bay, you gotta think the Broncos are up for it. I think both teams, whether it's Cowboys or Titans, they're both up to it. They play They play better than they do in previous games, So
especially the Dolphins. They usually target this game against the Broncos because it's basically the Battle of Brisbane.
Okay, so here's the next game. We've got on Saturday, 5 p.m. Got the Melbourne Storm are back to face St George Illawarra, and it's St George's home ground. Yeah, no brainer for me. It's gonna be Storm.
It's gotta be Storm, bro.
Storm's paying $1.38 to Dragons $3.05. Yeah, the way Storm handled Penrith last week,
Yep.
And that was at home though. They're playing away. It doesn't matter. They're gonna they welcome the return of Will Warbrick. He's back on the wing.
Oh, yo.
So that's a good upgrade. But the back three anyway, whoever they get, Peppenhausen, Coates there, Xavier Coates, Munster, things out. Who's the Kiwi guy that plays there? The number 7?
Oh, Hughes?
Hughes. He's out, but they got Tyron Wishart. I mean, that's he's playing 7.
Oh, shucks.
So we replace a good guy with another good guy. So it doesn't matter, like for like game, man.
Yeah.
Shit. And that's the power of Melbourne,
Yeah.
Just deep. They're just deep. Get injuries, they're still maintained. So I'm going for Melbourne Storm 13 plus on this one.
Yep. It's a 13 plus Storm. Just looking at the lineup here. Oh man. It's too good, bro. Way too good.
Yeah.
They definitely get into form. I think would be the team to beat this season. Yeah.
Because they're pissed off from last year.
Yo.
Losing that. They're angry. They don't got some purpose. Yeah. Next game, 7:30, we got North Queensland versus the Canberra Raiders. Now, man, the Canberra Raiders play like they did last week, then Cowboys got their first win. But I think Sticky will be in the air all week during training. And if they can get their form they had in round 1 and round 2, they'll earn North Queensland, but they're playing up in the Cowboys home. So, yeah, do you trust Canberra to come from a loss like they did against the? Who did they lose to? They lost to Man Seagulls. Yeah. So another away game, 2 away games they got. So I don't know. It looks like, can you trust the North Queensland Cowboys for their first win? It's a close matchup here. The Cowboys paying $1.90. Canberra Raiders are paying $1.90 as well. So TAB has them even.
No, I'll lean towards the Raiders on this one.
Yeah.
I think Fogerty and Strange had an off week last week, and they could really get the back 3 involved. I don't know, the Cowboys. I don't know if it's their fitness or maybe it's just the points on the board. They kind of gave away a lot of penalties in that last 30 or even the whole of the second half to the Broncos. So yeah, I think the Cowboys will be desperate for a win, but I think the Raiders will take this one. I'll say it was close, 12 and under.
You might be right because they've got their full strength back. Joe Tapani's back.
Yep.
Their hooker Tom Starling, he's been the man, eh? He looks like the old Damien Cook. He looks
turn back the time, man.
yeah.
You can't go past Papa Lee as well. He's gone back as well.
Yeah, strong team there. I'm gonna have to agree with you. That might be. The TAB's got it even. Has 365 got it even?
On Bet365, they've got the Cowboys as favorites at 182.
Oh, because
the Raiders at $2. So it's still close.
Oh, yeah. I think when it comes to personnel, you're gonna have to lean towards Canberra Raiders there. Yeah. I think North Queensland, they've lost too many players from last year. They haven't recovered from that.
Too much strike power's gone.
Yeah. Val Holmes gone.
Yeah. All their defensive players are still there, but their offensive players are all gone. You can't defend every game and not expect to leak in tries, All
right, the next game is 9:30 on Saturday. And might be the game of the round. We got the Sharks versus the Canterbury Bulldogs. Both teams, good teams, man? It's just solid teams. The Bulldogs got trouble with losing Burden. Losing Matt Burden for a few weeks. And Kikau as well still came in with a win. Cronulla Sharks, we knew they were going to be a good team having acquired Adam Blake from the Warriors,
Yo.
and they looked good in that loss in the first round against the Panthers in round 1. But they've come back strong, and this is gonna be a good game. Hard to pick. So TAB's actually got Sharks as favourites, $1.26. The Bulldogs paying $3.90. We're playing at the Sharks' home ground, so that's probably why. Yeah, man. I think this is a chance for the Sharks to show that the acquisition and the way they're playing from last year, just to prove that they can, just swipe away these teams that tried to challenge me. And the Bulldogs are one of those teams. So I'm going for Cronulla 12 and under for this one. How about yours?
Yeah. That's hard, because the Dogs. It hasn't been pretty for the Dogs, but they have been getting wins. They've been grinding towards wins. I'll still go with Sharks 12 and under on this one, but it's going to be a good battle, especially between the forwards. I was a big fan of Curran when he was at the Warriors. Preston, Salmon. Up against like McInnes, Fennell Blake. So it's going to be a good tussle up in the forwards. And that big dude, that tall ass dude, Hazelton. Man, when he comes off the bench, he's going to be devastating. I see they got Talakai on the bench as well. Yeah. I think the Sharks have too much firepower for the Dogs to just kind of grind it out. I think the Sharks will go out to a massive lead, and then Dogs will find it hard to pull it back. Yeah.
Yeah. I also like Sharks halves. I like Nico Hines and Trindle because when Hines had that injury for a couple of weeks and Braden Trindle came on, he did well when he took over number 7. So it's good to see those two appearing in the halves.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've been playing all year, so they've developed that relationship, developed that chemistry, I guess. Yeah, I'm going for those reasons. Just the chemistry in the halves. I think even though they won last week, the Bulldogs without Kikau and Burden, they could adjust, but I think it's not. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Too much firepower on the Shark side. Okay, next game. We've got Sunday games. 2 games on Sunday. First one's at 6 p.m. My Manly Seagulls playing at home. Brookvale at 4 Pines Park against the lowly Parramatta Eels. And what can I say, man? Speed kills, mate, and we're going to kill the Eels, man. Manly Seagulls, 13 plus for me.
Yeah, I'll agree on this. Seagulls just too strong last week in that last game. And that's without Trbojevic. So I think looks like he's back in. Jazz Tavaga has been good. Hopgood's been good for the Eels, but man, it's just Eels have been on the bad luck kind of stream, eh? So I'll go Manly on this one. I haven't looked at the bet and how much it's paying, but without looking at the odds, I'll probably go Seagulls 13 plus. I reckon it will just be above that 13 plus because I feel like the second half, if the Eagles are way ahead, they'll probably try and rotate some players out. But yeah, Jason Saab, if you can do a step, this is your game to do it.
Plus, it's going to be a first game after the announcement with Daly Cherry-Evans, eh?
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So for me, as a Manly fan, like I'm gutted. He can't finish his career at Manly Eagles, but he's in his late 30s, eh? So his time's almost up.
Yeah,
and he's been around a while. He's been around for a long time. He couldn't get into the Queensland team in his early years because of Thurston and Cronk and those guys. So he's come into the Queensland setup after those guys have retired, right? He's the next man up, sort of thing. And this is like at the end of his career, sort of thing. But he's still got it, eh? He's still got it. He had a good season last year. But man, his announcement that he's gonna leave. What's your take on that? Because for me, it's good because he can go back home. He's from Redcliffe, so he might be the Dolphins. If he chooses to go play for the Dolphins, then He's going to finish his career at his hometown.
Yeah.
Playing for his hometown, and that would be a good story to write,
Mm.
Tell your
Yo.
grandkids and that. And so I'm not really fussed. I mean, I'm not really. I think it's cool
Yep.
that we get to see him off, go play for his hometown. If he does go to the Dolphins, I'll be sad to see him go. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, because he hasn't really come down from his peak. He's still maintaining his status as one of the elite halves, in his old age, in NRL terms. But I'm all for it. If he goes, he's done his service to the Northern Beaches, the Sydney Northern Beaches, and yeah, man, if he wants to go, the club have said they'll do anything to make him stay. I don't know what that entails, but that's what they've said. But if he goes, then I'm alright with it. They've got Luke Brooks there to take over that. That's the whole plan anyway. They got Luke Brooks for that reason. When he does retire or leaves, then they got Luke Brooks there. But what's your take on all that?
Yeah, it's tough. Like, you always like seeing players that stay with one club for their whole career. Like Simon Mannering and whatnot. But I think what I read in the article, he did 15 years. So that was with Manly. So definitely his heart's with that club. Um, yeah, I'm opposite there. I'm kind of gutted that he's leaving. It would be nice for him to finish there. Just put the last flowers on his career. But now whatever he decides, if it's for family or whatnot, yeah, no, all good. Yeah, when you think of the Sea Eagles at the moment, you think of DCE. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see how it goes. We don't know yet if it's finalized, but yeah, it looks like he's set to leave. Hopefully the boys, will pick up their game and be like, let's get a premiership for DCE on his way out. You never know. Sometimes announcements like this can have a really good effect on a team. They kind of lift each other up to try and finish strong. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so a bit of extra emotions, I guess,
Yeah,
in this game, mainly against Parramatta, and probably fitting that's a home game too, so the fans can sort of have a different feel when they're at the game. The Manly fans will be sitting there thinking, man, there's a guy leaving. So we'll see how that goes. But still, I think, Manly's paying $1.15 to Eels $5.60. And Eels to lose, Manly to win 13 plus. Okay, it was last game, and it's the New Zealand Warriors paying $2.35 against the West Tigers paying $1.60. Wow. And before we get into this game, we're talking about DCE leaving. Now, these news reports came out today that Dylan Walker is going back to Australia. Apparently he signed with the Parramatta Eels. Parramatta Eels probably need him at their Manly game, eh? He's not going to play that game, eh? Or is he? Not sure.
No.
But because there'll be a boost anyway. But he's leaving. So I did an article on the WesWes Network website on 3 Manly players who were leaving 1 year, and Dylan Walker was one of them. Martin Hatapu was leaving when he went to Brisbane, and Kieran Foran, he left to go to the Titans, and Dylan Walker left to go to the Warriors. But 3-year contract cut short. He had 1 more year to go, and now he's gone. So, your take on this?
I mean, yeah, I heard rumors. I heard some rumors about there's a bit of scandal involved in this.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but I'm not naming names. But according to one of the group chats we're in, apparently he's been mucking around.
Oh shit.
The rumors that Dylan Walker slept with someone's partner in the Warriors front office.
Oh wow.
So that's the rumor. I don't know, bro. Like, don't quote me on that. I just saw it in one of the chats, man. But
Damn.
who knows? I could be wrong, but yeah. Sometimes those things are motivations to gap the country, bro. But yeah, it will be a bit of a disruption, especially for the Warriors. He's still named an interchange there for this game. So let's see how it goes. If you see a teammate punch him, then you know what happened. I don't know. But this is a hard game. I want the Tigers to do well this season because you know, with Luai and Lockie Galvin in the halves, you know, Benji Marshall, bro, he's one of the great Kiwi greats. I really want him to do well as coach. So I want the Tigers to do it, but at the same time, even though I'm a Broncos fan, man, Warriors is our countryside, you know. I think Rocco Berry's back. If I have a quick look here, yeah, Rocco Berry's back. So I think the only change apart from that is Pompey shifting to the wing to replace Roger Tualasea. Man, hopefully, yeah. I saw a video from Sean Johnson talking about Roger Tuilaso. Man, he's the GOAT, man. Roger, how he did his hammy, like doing that last defensive line to take out Dom Young. So what a legend, what a trooper. My heart wants the Warriors to do it. My head says Tigers, but I'm gonna go Warriors 12 and under.
Ooh, that's a away game too.
It's an away game. So if you're a betting man, let's go. But yeah, I'm going with my heart on this one, not my head.
Well, the Tigers have lost one game, and that was a close one against the Knights in round one. They only lost by 2 points, but then since then they've been on fire. They've smashed the Eels. Oh, everyone's smashing the Eels, so that doesn't count. 6-32, and then round 3, they beat the Dolphins 30-18. So I guess they're facing a team that's probably, I'm going to say, on par with the Newcastle Knights in terms of win-loss kind of ratio, sort of thing. And so it'll be a test. So maybe it'll be a low-scoring game. It could be a low-scoring game. They are at home. Tigers might win in a close one. Their halves look good, and they need to be on against Warriors because their halves are probably not as good as the halves for the Tigers. So if you look at the Tigers' spine, it's pretty solid, especially with, of course, our hooker, and he had a good game last week.
Uppy was the man last week.
He was the man last week.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be closer, man, but I'm going for the home side, and this I'm going for the Tigers,
Damn. Yeah. After that game last week, I saw Uppy and who's the other? Taruva get some cover from the thing, and I don't know if they gave any to Bulla, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah. Man. I know the Tigers look strong, but I gotta go for the Warriors,
Yeah. Too bad. That's too bad.
Swiggy. That's the wick.
And I'll even put down Taruva for a double on this one. Taruva for a double.
I'm doing my bits tomorrow, so gotta shake off all this dust and try and get back. So I think last week I only won like 60, 70, 80, and then $90 from 40. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So let's get it.
All right. Man, thanks, man, for another week of picks and margins. It's always good to have you on. It's always good to have you on, man.
Yo.
Do you know anyone else that wants to jump on? That does betting that wants to jump on?
Oh, man, a lot of my boys do it, but I think they might be too shy to jump on the camera. Might be just jumping on voice only or something.
All good, man.
Yo.
Yeah, man. Thanks for jumping on. Everyone out there can catch Eddie on the Empty Out the Clip podcast. It's out every Sunday night, Monday, on Spotify and on YouTube. That's the Empty Out the Clip podcast, part of the WesWes Network. Thanks also for jumping on.
Thanks for having me.
Do it again next week or any other week. You're free. All right.
Thank you. Wow.